All right, we are recording. Let me get on teaching. Boop. All right, so today, guys, I just wanted to go over, a lot of people are asking, like, why was EU and UJ moving in the same direction and different things like that. I wanted to go over pair correlation and how pairs relate to each other, right? Let me make sure I'm recording. Yes. So some of you guys who have been on these webinars before have seen my little, call it my seesaw, right? But I'm gonna create this all over again because all this is needed for my little quote unquote presentation. So I'm making two seesaws. I made this one, this one. All this will make sense in a second. All right, so in the, you guys can write, what were the pairs that people are confused about? It's EU and UJ, right? Let's see here. We need JPY. We need Euro, US dollar. We need another US dollar. All right. So on this side, we have the Euro, US dollar, this little seesaw here that we're going to create in a second. And on this side, we have UJ, USD, Japan Yen, USD, JPY. All right. Man, I got this down. I've been doing it too much now. So the first thing you have to know about pair correlation is how pairs move in general. So this pair here, the pair in the front, obviously they're paired because there's two currencies combined. So this exact thing here would just be, right? And this one would be, obviously, USD JPY. All right, and this is a currency pair. Now the front of the pair is the base currency. This is the base currency. And the back pair, whatever is on the back side, is the quote currency. All right. So this is always going to be your base pair, always going to be your current quote pair, no matter the currency, GBP, NZD, AUD, USD, whatever it is, EUR, AUD, whatever it is, base pair, base currency, and your quote currency. No, you're not late, Rayshawn. I lost internet, so you're literally perfect. So we have our base pairs and our quote currencies, our base currencies and our quote currencies, okay? Now, when, oh, don't mess up on me now. There you go. Beep. When every pair, there's a fight between each pair all the time, right? So if the euro is stronger than the US dollar, right? Let me pull out my other tools. We're gonna need this baby. We're gonna need this baby. Boom. So if the euro is stronger than the US dollar, right? The base pair compared to the next pair is which direction the currency is going to go. So if the euro is stronger than the US dollar, then the currency is going to go up. Base pair controls the direction of price, okay? If euro is stronger, then it is gonna go up than the US dollar. Now, in the same direction, if, that's why I have a separate line here, boom. If the euro is weaker than the US dollar, then the euro, the currency, EU, euro US dollar, is going to go down. Base pair controls direction. All right? Put that in the corner right here. Base pair controls direction. Also, you always have to know who is stronger between the base pair and the quote currency. Quote pair, quote currency, same thing. Whatever. I'll say currency. That is your question that you will always ask. And whatever the base pair is what's going to control the direction. So if the euro is weaker than the US dollar, then the EU is going to always go down. And the same thing with UJ. If the US dollar is weaker than the Japan yen, then UJ is going to go down. And vice versa, if the US dollar is stronger than the Japan yen, then UJ is going to go up. Now, to start off with that, does that make sense to everybody? That was a whole lot of work just to explain this, but a lot of people are very visual. If that makes sense, say yes in the chat, please, so I can make sure. All right, for sure. So the main points to clear from here before we go into the next part: base pair controls the direction. Whatever pair is in front, you see, is it stronger or weaker than the quote pair? If it's stronger than the quote pair or the whatever's on the backside, currency is going to go up. If it is weaker than the currency on the backside, it is going to go down. All right. And that is all for this. Now let's go into pair correlation. I'll pull up this chart. Because it'll make it easier for y'all as I'm explaining this. This one it? Oh, it's not as clear. Let me see. There you go. Boom. We are going to go through this now. Now, this is how correlation works. Say you are trading, let's find the EU UJ one. Perfect. Say EU and UJ the other day were both going up, right? Actually, they are both going down. Let's use this one. The reason, if EU and UJ are going down, then EJ is going to go really hard down, right? This was literally last night. Y'all all saw that I was in the EJ trade. And one of the things that gave me more confirmation to hold this trade is both UJ and EU were going down. Now, why does that matter? Because we have three currencies here, or we have two currencies here. Actually, three in this situation. We have Euro US dollar. We have US dollar JPY. And in this instance, I'm going to throw in EJ because this is how you can use it. And we have the Euro JPY. All right? But obviously these are pairs, but you have to look at these as individual currencies. Okay? So what currencies do we have here? We have the Euro, we have the US dollar, and we have the Japan yen. Everything else is just mix and match in between them. Would everybody agree with that point? All right, so we have the Euro, we have the US dollar, and we have the Japan yen, as we just stated. And after I'm done with this one, you guys can throw out different currencies and we can talk about how you use correlation to figure out strength and movement of pairs. So, how should I do this? We're going to use this greater than symbol. Is that a good one? Do we got another one? Let's see. What do we got here? That's good enough. We're going to use greater than symbol, and we're going to need another one. Boom. So if the US dollar, all this was going down yesterday, right? So we need a down arrow. Boom. This was, oh crap, get out of here. This was going down. This was going down yesterday, as well as this was going down. And it was throwing everybody off, right? But what does this tell you? Just so we talked about, this is the base pair. This is the quote pair. The base pair controls the directional bias of a currency, right? Sorry, let me see this real quick. Man, this pair is tripping. Cool. Controls the directional bias of a currency, right? So if the euro is weaker than the US dollar, then the US dollar is obviously greater at this point than the euro. Would everybody agree with this statement? You almost have to think like math right now. A, B, C. If you agree, say yes with this statement so far. I want 24 yeses. All right, cool. So obviously the US dollar is stronger than the euro here. Now, just the same thing. If US dollar Japan yen is falling, right? What does that tell us? That the Japan yen is stronger than the US dollar. Right? Because the US dollar controls which way the directional bias of the pair is going to go. The base pair, the base currency, right? And if this is weaker than this, then just like we did in our seesaw, then the price is going to go down. Would everybody agree with this statement? What's up, Jazzy U? What's up, man? What's up, Jazzy Jazz? All right, so just because these are inverse pairs generally does not mean that they still can't go the same direction. If EU and UJ are falling, all that means is that the Japan yen is stronger than the US dollar, because you have to look at each pair by itself. Look at this pair. Japan yen is stronger than the US dollar, therefore it's going to fall. And the US dollar was stronger than the euro, therefore it's going to fall. And just like math, if the US dollar is stronger than the euro and the Japan yen is stronger than the US dollar, right? That means the euro is extremely weak, right? Therefore, if UJ is falling and EU is falling, that means Japan yen is extremely strong and the euro is extremely weak. Therefore, EJ should fall extremely hard, which it did, because the Japan yen was much stronger than the euro. Okay? So when everybody's like, they're inverse pairs, they can't go the same direction. Yes, they can. That just means that one pair is stronger than the other. That's all currencies are. A lot of the time, generally, these move opposite. Because the US dollar is a major currency and it runs a lot of the market, therefore, this is what's going to generally move the pair. But if the Japan yen, for some reason, is stronger than everything, then it's going to change the way that the market is moving. Like right now, I think EU and UJ are rising, right? Oh, snap. AJ. Let's look. Nope, UJ's falling. UJ's falling. Let's look at the hour. So let me turn off these. Sorry. All right. Whatever. Let's turn it all off. So UJ is falling right now. Let's look at Euro US dollar. EU is rising. Now they're doing their bet. They're going back to inverse, right? So what is EU telling you? That right now, in this current time, the euro is stronger than the US dollar. In this current time, Japan is stronger than the US dollar. In both those instances, what is weak? Tell me what is weak in both these instances. EU is rising at this point, and UJ is falling at this point. What is the weak currency? US dollar, right? So because you had two different things, all right, let's look at EJ real quick. EJ stuck, but it had a big rise here. But yesterday, as we were just talking about, let's see, let's go lower time frame. Yeah, started falling, but yesterday, as we were talking about, both UJ and EU were falling, right? And EJ died. Just 120 something pips, right? And it just fell hard, no real pullbacks. But if you look at EU yesterday, this was yesterday, it was falling. And UJ also fell yesterday. Here's yesterday, right? So right now, the US dollar is weak. Therefore, like if I go to gold, gold should be rising right now. If I go to AU, AU should be rising right now. If I go to USD CHF, it should be falling right now. If I go to, the peso's weird, but USD CAD should be falling right now, you know? So just because of that correlation between EU is rising, UJ is falling, it's showing me that the weak currency in both those instances is the US dollar, right? So this will allow you to look at the market in a way where when you do see something weird like this, when you do see like an EU and a UJ, which are generally inverse pairs going the same direction, find the correlation between them, which is EJ. These are both going the same direction. Go trade EJ. That's why yesterday I didn't really worry about EU because I knew EJ was going to die, right? These were going the same directions, not often. But if you look at the past few days of EJ, EJ's been on this like falling spree, fall, 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 right? And it's been falling hard when it does fall. And it's always been during like London session because Euro's a London pair. So do I think gold is a buy or a sell? I will go into, we'll do some Q&A on, we'll go do some markups in a minute. Somebody name a few pairs that we can do correlation on just to clear this up right now that you guys want me to do this on. But this sheet, I posted it in the chat a few times, but I will add it to the chat again. And the way it works is it literally does all those correlations that I just did for you. If GU and UJ are both rising, these are generally inverse pairs, right? Because what does this tell us? That means the British pound is stronger than the US dollar. It means the US dollar is stronger than the Japan yen. But if the British pound is stronger than the US dollar, and UJ strong and US dollar is stronger than Japan yen, that means the Japan yen must be really weak. Therefore, GJ is going to rise very hard. Same thing. If AU, the Aussie dollar and US dollar is rising, and UJ is also rising, that means the Aussie dollar is stronger than all of these currencies, and definitely stronger than Japan yen, because US dollar is stronger than Japan yen. Therefore, AJ is going to rise very hard, right? So you can look at this current thing and start working on it and stuff. I don't look at this chart anymore because I just be like, obviously you just be like, oh, EU must be really strong or vice versa or whatever it is. And this is a good way to trade your exotic pairs. So let me find one, like AN, that's an exotic pair. AU is falling, right? NU is rising. What does this tell us? These are different ones. It's not how this works. So how does this work? If Aussie dollar is stronger than the US dollar, but NZD is, or Aussie dollar is weaker than the US dollar, right? This one controls the direction, but NZD is stronger than the US dollar. Therefore, obviously, NZD is stronger than Aussie dollar if Aussie dollar is weaker than US dollar, meaning AU should fall really hard because NZD is stronger than AU, or than Aussie dollar, right? And you can go through this whole thing, and this really helps you for those who like to trade those exotics and not sure what could possibly be falling hard at that moment. So EA fell hard, I think, yesterday as well. Yes, it fell for a while. So it fell since the 17th. Today is the 22nd. Yep. So it's been falling hard, and it fell a whole bunch of pips, I think. Yeah, almost 270 pips. So what is this telling us? That euro, obviously we knew it was weak by EU, EJ, all those kind of euro pairs falling, but Aussie dollar has been strong. So if EA is going to fall hard, that means AU can be rising and EU can be falling, which I think is what actually happened yesterday. I think Aussie dollar did rise a little bit. It's been in a funky thing, but it did rise yesterday. That's ugly, but yeah. Any other questions on pair correlation and how you can use that to your advantage to get a better idea of what a pair might do that night? What do you mean by the price, Galaxy F6? What do you mean by the price? Which price is higher or lower? I don't know if I understand your question. Were you on at the beginning of the webinar when I did my seesaw reenactment? Yeah. Were you on for that? Oh, well, this is recorded, and that beginning part will explain all of that, right? But just a real quick rundown. This pair in front, whatever pair is in front, controls the directional bias of the pair. That's why it's the base pair. It's the base of that currency. It's going to tell you which way it's going to go. Each currency, each pair, because they are paired with something, it's a fight between these two to determine which one is stronger than the other. Okay? So if US dollar is stronger than the euro, that means EU is going to fall because this pair controls the directional bias. If euro is stronger than the US dollar, this pair is going to rise because this pair controls the directional bias. If US dollar is stronger than the Japan yen, this pair is going to rise because this pair controls the directional bias. If US dollar is weaker than the Japan yen, this pair is going to fall because this pair controls the directional bias. Okay? Does that make sense, Galaxy X6? No problem. I did it more visual in the beginning, but that's the same thing. So I think I'm gonna start marking up stuff. Is everybody good? All right, gold. Okay, let's start from scratch. Boop. The reason I like to start from scratch so I don't let my old biases even affect my new biases, and I get a fresh look and I see where I drew stuff. Start at the weekly, zoom in. Weekly has been bullish for a while. Finally hit this. That's why I started rejecting. There was a reversal pattern here. After this reversal pattern on the weekly, I think it was at a strong fib level. Hit the 70.7 reversal pattern, came back inside, gave you a continuation pattern. You're buying for a while, which that's all gold's been doing, right? Previous weekly candle, rejection of the sellers, but also some rejection of the buyers at the same time. But this candle closed ever so slightly higher than this one. That still shows you some bullish momentum, right? No matter, you have to look at the closes. Now, if it would have closed within the same height That could have been what you call a hanging man, a reversal pattern, but it did not. Close a little bit higher, which was still told you that the bullish momentum was still moving. Here we are here. It still hasn't broken any of these wicks. This wick is holding strong, right? And there's the weekly, daily. The same level is holding. Let's see. We were in a downtrend. Turn into an uptrend, break of structure, continuation. Retest here. Looks like a double top, but it's still ranging to the side. It's not falling away from here fast enough for me to show me that this is going to be valid. But even for me to sell into this trend, I mean, gold's the easiest pair to counter trend trade on because it gives you so many pips, right? But I want that trend line broken. This trend line breaks, which is about to hit today or probably going to hit tomorrow. We're going to see something happen in gold soon. It's going to bust out this little pimple. It's either going to, on the daily, y'all know how I do it, break, retest, go. Break, retest, go, right? It's only two options it can do. If, then. That's all gold can do. That's on the daily though. So let's zoom in some more. By the way, this right here, I believe was like a 38.2 test. It was gorgeous. 38.2 hammer, reversal pattern, continuation all day. All day continuation. I like to look at gold for more of my bias on the US dollar, but as you see, it's been ranging. So then you can go to VXY to give you an idea. But let's go back to gold. So we're in this little level here. This came back and gave us another 38.2. If it comes back through here, it could fall and create a bat pattern potentially. But everybody knows harmonics are all just projections, right? Let's zoom in some more. This is the trend line I want to see broken and close below. But I also want to see the level broken because it's held some strength before. Struggle, struggle, test, test, break, test, test, break, test, and again. This is a key level in this little zone here, right? So for me to really believe it's going short, break of the trend line, also break of this level 33.55 level, right? So this broke this level, which allowed it to fall, but all it did was retest the trend line and came back right. Again, then we continued in our range. This is one option. Second option, we break above, retest, and then we continue in this current trend, right? But we're at strong resistance right now. Why are we at strong resistance? Because this level right here on the daily. This wick is holding value. So if I mark this wick out, it's called a point of failure in the market, right? That wick is holding value. As you see, even on the 4 hour, it broke, test, never broke and closed above. So, Ryan, there's my quick analysis. Where's the chat at? That makes sense? Cool. Anybody got another pair? Euro NZD. Yo, that one's on here, I remember. Wait. Just because we're talking about this. Where is that one at? Dang it, I thought it was. All right, it's all good. We have, start over. Price is falling hard. Sell me. Weekly, a weird behind head and shoulders pattern. That was right here. And the funny thing is, that held value in the future, right? But all right, weekly, we're in an overall downtrend. Price is not going this direction, but instead it's going this direction, right? Overall weekly downtrend. Look at the previous candles. What do we have? Engulfing, closed into the wicks, broke the wicks, failed, broke the wicks, failed, broke the wicks, failed. Here we are currently. It's going down here to do the same thing. There's something in this level making this fail. Why? Let's see. Why are you failing right there? Well, this one hit this level right here, but there's been some failure here, but it's still falling. Hasn't given you in the candle direction, in your direction if you're trying to buy. But I would rather sell in this kind of market, just looking at it. Sell me, sell me, sell me, sell me. Nothing's moving in this direction. Everything's moving in this direction, right? I'm not going to get into market structure and stuff, but all right, previous candles, bearish, still engulfed this one, spinning top, but still closed lower than this one, and we're current falling. This alone would have gave me a bearish bias on today. We just saw weekly's falling. Daily is overall falling. The previous two daily candles was bearish and bearish. Without even doing really any analysis, I would have been looking short. Does that make sense? I'm gonna go further into it, but what I just said real quick, does that make sense? Yeah. So sometimes a lot of people, I don't know why, but they start at lower time frames and move your way up. You get no view. You gotta go talk to the grandpa who has all the wisdom. And then he's like, yo, go talk to my son, the dad. And then the dad's all like, okay, go talk to the teenager. Right? But let's look at 4 hour real quick. Yeah, I would have been just sell me all day. There was this was your sell entry on 4 hour right there. Break, close. Your stop loss, I would have probably been above this candle because that was the candle that broke, and you'd have been good. You would be up some pips. So break, close. If you entered here, you'd be up 50 something pips or so. GBP USD. Clear, weekly. Been falling. What it does is it's been falling, consolidation, fall, consolidation, fall, consolidation, fall, consolidation, right? But overall, obviously, GBP's been weak as mud, but it seems like it's been gaining strength lately because it found a strong level of support, but you still got to see. We had this weekly candle, came back, bearish, neutral, bearish. I would have still been probably bearish, but let's see. Daily, consolidation, barely anything. It's been going up and down, ugly. I probably wouldn't even traded it. I don't like not moving markets. I like these kind of markets on the daily. then it's really easy to know direction here. I'll just look somewhere else simply. But let's go further. It doesn't mean nothing. Neutral candles with the bearish controlling candle, with another bearish controlling candle, but this was showing some rejection of the sellers. So GU is confused. But let's see. And just as I said, it's been going up and down, but I see a wedge forming, or a wedge that has formed. There's this one, but I probably would have went right there. And if you want the tighter wedge, then you would have this. This was FOMC. Came back. You could also do this wedge to get the full view and the full break and close if it comes out again. Boom. Trade the breakout. And those who don't look this far back, just to make everybody happy, there's also this one. But it would have gave you the same type of thing. I went for the full move personally. Trade the breakout. If they're in trade, you're either getting this but I want it to break this level, right? Don't forget about your horizontal support and resistance. There's a simple GU chart, nothing fancy, simply patience. Now, if you want to wait for the 1 hour, there's small trades within here, but you see how much consolidation this is. This does not allow you to walk away from your computer. Would everybody agree? Look at this. You can't walk away and know for sure that you're correct. That's why I would just be like, nah, I'll wait. I'll wait for it to tell me what it really wants to do. Yeah, this is annoying. How many hours is this? Say you entered a sell. Say you entered a sell right here. No, you would enter here. You had a strong bearish candle. You're like, oh yeah, I'm good. You come back. Oh crap. Oh wait, I'm good. Oh crap. Oh no. This is 21 hours of sideways movement. I'm not trading her. Simply. There's no need. I'll wait. But obviously, there's small little breakouts you can get. Yes, we do. Sadly. You can get small little breakouts in here that you can go to like the smaller time frames and trade, right? Every time, the market is fractal, doesn't matter. So you would trade this accordingly. And actually, you would have already had a breakout, to be honest, because it would have been here. But like I always say, don't forget the horizontal support resistance. I would want to break and close over this too, and then you could take it for a short-term long. But looking at higher time frames, you see what it's been doing. And you're not even to the end of the wedge, so it could just go. All right, another pair. Let's go. Inverse head and shoulders on the 15-minute right here. This right here. Right here. Brian? Yeah, it's an ugly one, but yes, it is one. So your neckline would be, I'll probably call this my neckline. Oh my gosh. I try to do it with my left hand. My left hand has no skills. Yep. This is what you were seeing, Ryan? Cool. But let's look at the one. Man, it's been so sideways. It's a huge little wedge here. And as you can see, candles are getting smaller and smaller, and more consolidation and more consolidation. This breakout's going to be lovely. So if you can be patient, you'll save yourself a lot of money and have no worries about the direction. When it comes out of this, it's going to pop. Pop. Clearing this up for myself. Boom. Daily breakout. Trade it. From the looks of this, actually, it looks like it's going to go long, though. Because generally, if the move before it was going up, the next move is up. But I stopped predicting. I just trade which way it goes now. Because I used to be like, oh, man, it's just going. I'm going to look for only the buys. Then I got screwed, though. So, but this rejection right here, and no level closed below here, like it never wanted to close under these levels, as you see on the daily, it will hit, 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 hit. You thought it broke, came right back in, hit, hit. Therefore, there's more rejection to the sellers than there has been to the buyers. The buyers have been up here just chilling, coming down, and boop. And this could also be a form of a flag. All right. Let's see. All right, which is usually a bullish continuation. If I take this away for a second. Flag continuation. Overall, it would make sense because there's so much rejection to the bottom here. But don't predict, trade the breakout. Boom. Yeah, this one was ridiculous. This was the quote unquote. Oh, that was a 500 pip width. That was the quote unquote Brexit 2.0. The thing is, it still went with the trend. The trend was down. That was no mistake. Yeah, and it also took some people homeless. Yep, exactly. Euro GBP. Euro's been weak, so I'm assuming this fell. Let's see, 4 hour. Yep. This is old. I haven't looked at this pair in a long time. Gap City ball. All right. USD ZAR. All right, Lucas. I got 2 more pairs in me. Then I'm gonna watch me a movie. And we're losing followers. Man, I still need to watch season 1. Anyways, bearish. But it's coming down to here. Weird head and shoulders on the weekly possibility. Daily, ugly. But there's still the same head and shoulders. Neckline, this level. And actually, I would have brought it up. Neckline, head and shoulders. This breaks, we're having a beautiful sell. Does everybody see this head and shoulders here? Yesterday was a bullish candle. Would have gave you a bias to start the day. It's that simple. If you're an intraday trader, look at the previous day candle. Reversal pattern. The next day I'm looking for sales. This candle came up, right? Bullish, piercing line pattern. Next day I'm looking for buys to start the day. This gap, and then it gave you a bearish engulfing. Then it shows you it wants to close that gap. Boom. That's a very easy intraday, quote unquote, price action strategy. Oh, ZAR. This will be my last pair. The F. It's been in a crazy uptrend. This reminds me of peso. Yeah, it reminds me of peso. Weird. Then it hit a point and said, yeah, poop, let's turn around. Head and shoulders here. You can probably see it easier on the daily. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, movement. Retracement back probably to, I went from here somewhere around the, it could be a 618 levels. Let's see. 50 here, but if I don't include that huge wick, man, you'd be the 618 levels. But I include the wicks. Wicks are candles on lower time frames. I didn't look at previous weekday. Previous week, bears. I'm looking for bears. Bears, bear. It's been dying. Daily. Looks like it's double bottom or it can continue and keep on making new lows. This low was broken. This looks like it was significant. I don't ever trade this pair, but this was significant. It's still bearish. Clear break and close and retest here. Whoever asked that, do you see this? Who asked that? Lucas. Yep. Yeah, this is the break. People thought it was bullish. All it was doing was coming back to retest previous levels and rejected them hard 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Gave you a bearish engulfing. I'm looking for sells over anything. You might have some bullish momentum, but when you see this, that'll give you, when you see all this rejection, you're looking for sells. But it's kind of stuck in its own thing as well. But here was another sell signal. On a lower time frame better. Break, oh, beautiful. Break, retest, and close. If you were to take the proper entry, would have been right here. Stop loss above the candle that broke. The pips are weird. It's like peso, like I said. Anyways, I don't know how many pips that is, but it's immediately. And if you would have taken this engulfing off of here, this rejection of a previous daily resistance that was broken somewhere over here, right? That's a clear rejection when it comes back this hard. You take it right after this candle and just know price is going to go down because you're looking at an overall downtrend. When you swim with the trend, you're going to have an easier time. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the recording. The Profit Society, thanks for getting on. Hope you guys learned about pair correlation and some easy markups. Didn't get into any fancy technical analysis or anything. Kept it simple price action. I'll take more questions right now, but I'm going to stop the recording.